Бой Ислам Макхачев против Магдалены. От тебя прозвучало о том, что это будет самый тяжелый бой в карьере Ислама. Почему?
Ну, мы не можем сразу все карты раскрывать, потому что наши соперники тоже нас слушают. Но скажу так, что я давно слежу за Магдаленой. Он как боец очень интересный.
Islam Makhachev is training in full flow alongside Khabib Nurmagomedov for his upcoming fight against Jack Dilla Maddalena. Islam doesn't want to leave any stone unturned in his preparation, as he wants to get a second UFC belt. Khabib is also helping out Islam as he knows how dangerous JDM can be at welterweight. Earlier, Khabib Nurmagomedov admitted that Jack Dilla Maddalena could be Islam Makhachev's toughest test yet, even more than past opponents like Charles Oliveira or Ilia Topuria. He highlighted JDM's size, strength, sharp boxing, and solid grappling, saying that preparing for him would be a tougher and more exciting challenge than facing Ilia.
Считаю, что Магдалена самый сложный соперник в Ислама карьере. Мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов...
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Магдалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Ну, для меня, если я например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Магдалены, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Магдалена.
Now, Khabib Nurmagomedov explains why he believes Jack Dilla Maddalena is the toughest test of Islam Makhachev's career. He says he has been following JDM for a long time and sees him as a very interesting fighter with sharp skills, strong technique, and dangerous striking. Khabib also points out that Maddalena has already faced some big-name opponents who are strong wrestlers, and he handled those challenges well.
Бой Ислам Макхачев против Магдалены. От тебя прозвучало о том, что это будет самый тяжелый бой в карьере Ислама. Почему?
Ну, мы не можем сразу все карты раскрывать, потому что наши соперники тоже нас слушают. Но скажу так, что я давно слежу за Магдаленой. Он как боец очень интересный. Тогда, конечно, у меня даже в голове не было насчет боя Ислама и Магдалены, но судя по его скиллам, по его технике, по его ударке, судя по тому, как он защищается против борцов, а он дрался с борцами. Рамазан хорошо борется, Гилберт Бронс хорошо борется.
Khabib says Jack Dilla Maddalena has already proven himself by beating opponents with long range, strong wrestlers, powerful strikers, and physically tough fighters. He points out that JDM has passed every test, going 9-0 in the UFC, and also trains with the same team that prepared Alexander Volkanovski for Islam. Putting it all together, Khabib sees him as a very dangerous opponent.
Ребятами, у кого длинные рычаги, тот же Холланд. Ну, то есть он дрался и с борцами, и с ударниками, и с физически крепкими ребятами. Он такой, знаешь, проверку прошел, 9-0 UFC чемпион. У него та команда, которая готовила Волконовского на Ислама. Вот это все вместе, если сопоставить, я вижу в нем очень грозного соперника.
Khabib also analyzes the welterweight division ahead of Islam Makhachev's debut. He sees Shafkat as the most dangerous challenge, while Bilal Muhammad and Jack Dilla Maddalena also bring serious risks. On the other hand, he doesn't consider Ian Gary or Sean Brady major threats, believing Islam would outstrike and control them with ease.
Вот теперь скажи, не будем за спину смотреть Магдалену, но если бы не было Магдалены, то как дальше выглядит ситуация в 77? Кто может оказаться напротив Ислама в клетке? И там 2 слова о каждом из них.
Я вижу 77 Шавката как соперника, да, вот, вызывающего уважение, во-первых, во-вторых, опасения. Шавкат, Билял, Ян Герри я бы не считал бы таким грозным соперником. Шавкат, Билял, даже еще один был. Шон Брэди я не вижу. Стилистически слишком удобно. Ислам его стойко перебьет, бороться он, у Ислама в ноге останется. Не вижу Шон Брэди такого грозного соперника. Он, конечно, крепкий, хороший боец, но не вижу. Шавкат и Билял.
Islam Makhachev responded to Khabib, naming Jack Della Maddalena as his toughest opponent yet. When asked if JDM posed a bigger challenge than fighters like Volkanovski or Poirier, Islam acknowledged that size could make things interesting but quickly dismissed any doubts. He admitted JDM can be dangerous if given space to strike, but promised to drag him into deep waters, wear him down and impose his trademark style of control.
Khabib сказал, что твой бой с Маддаленой будет очень сложным, а ты видишь, в чем Маддалена превосходит твоих прошлых соперников, например, Волконовский или Порье?
Весом, наверное. Ну, не знаю. Знаешь, как зависит. Если, например, даже вот сейчас про Чимаева бой говорили, если он дал бы ему поработать, то это был бы конкурентный бой. И также и у меня, и у всех. Если дать работать, например, в стойке Маддалене, он может показать хороший бой. Не секрет, я собираюсь его переводить, я собираюсь его контролировать, заставлять его устать, навязывать свой стиль боя.
Islam Makhachev explained why Khabib called Jack Della Maddalena his toughest test, saying it comes down to the move to welterweight. He noted that stepping up from lightweight to 170 brings new sparring partners, different preparations and challenges they have never faced before, which is why Khabib views JDM as such a dangerous fight.
Почему Хабиб так говорит? Потому что это для нас какой-то новый шаг, новый вес. Перепрыгивать. Ну, мы так не делали раньше, чтобы с нижнего веса наверх перепрыгивать, потому что по-любому уже другая подготовка, спарринг-партнеры другие, много чего приходится менять сейчас. И это все так по ходу без какого-либо опыта.
Leon Murphy shared his thoughts on Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena. He admitted it was a tough fight to call, noting that JDM is a bigger guy with strong scrambles. Murphy questioned whether Islam's size would be enough at welterweight and said they'll have to wait and see.
What's your prediction for JDM and
Islam?
Makhachev?
I don't know. It's hard to. I don't know. I think JDM is good scrambling. He's a bigger guy. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Is Islam big enough? Is he going to be able to?
Let's see.
On the other hand, there are rumors that Islam will fight JDM at UFC 322, but Ilia Topuria has also hinted that he's going to fight at UFC 322 against Justin Gaethje. Yesterday, Ilia Topuria's manager shared a post where he hinted at a fight between Ilia and Justin at UFC 322. Meanwhile, Kiel Sonnen claims that Ilia Topuria fighting Paddy Pimblett would be a bigger event than a potential clash with Islam Makhachev at this moment. He explains that while Islam versus Ilia could eventually grow into a huge fight with the right build-up, right now it doesn't have the pull people think it does. Sonnen argues that Topuria versus Pimblett would actually draw more attention and do a bigger gate, given Paddy's star power. He adds that if Islam has a title wrapped around his waist, then the conversation might change.
Islam and Ilia is not this massive fight that people are trying to make believe it is. It could, with a little bit of time. I'm just sharing for you. Those guys are a little bit too close to the trees to see the forest. Ilia Topuria versus Paddy the Baddy does a bigger gate than Ilia Topuria versus Islam right now. You put a belt around Islam, maybe we're having a different conversation.
However, Arman Tsarukyan doesn't agree with that, as he believes he deserves to fight for the title first. Arman even blasted Paddy Pimblett's rise in the rankings, arguing that he didn't even deserve a spot in the top 10. He criticized Paddy's resume, noting that his recent wins came against opponents and losing streaks are past their prime. Arman said pushing someone with that record into a title fight would be a bad look for the sport.
You gotta delete him from the rankings. Even he's not even deserved to be in top 10. He beat last three guys. Chandler, he had 3 losses. It was Bobby Green, he had 3-4 losses. It was Tony Ferguson, he had 8 losses. That's crazy. And like, you wanna bring that guy to fight for the title? Is 8-0, 2-0.
Oh, that's pretty bad when you put it that way.
Kamaru Usman also doesn't like the idea of Paddy Pimblett jumping the line for a title shot, calling it unfair to fighters who have already proven themselves. He pointed to contenders such as Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, Mateusz Gamrot, and Ben Nile. Dariush is far more deserving based on their resumes and level of competition. Usman admitted Paddy has looked good against his opposition, but stressed that title shots should be earned through merit, not hype.
It's not Paddy's fault. Paddy has done a great job with the opposition he's been given to even put himself in this conversation. Paddy's done a phenomenal job. But if we're looking at the lightweight rankings, we've got Ilia Topuria, and I'm assuming next you've got Arman Tsarukyan. It makes sense. If you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, I don't know why Islam is still there, but if you're not going to do a Arman Tsarukyan, or you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, then, you know, like, yes, you've got Dan Hooker there. You've got Mateus Gamrot. You've got all these Beneil Dariush there in front of Paddy Pimblett. So to skip all of these guys to just give him a title shot, that kind of spits in the face of the merit of the best fights the next best guys.
Renato Moicano says he's not impressed with Arman Tsarukyan's skills and believes the lightweight contender is overrated. He predicts that Ilia Topuria would completely dominate Tsarukyan if they ever fought, explaining that Topuria's style and power would overwhelm him. Moicano also adds that while he has nothing personal against Arman, he's not the type of person he would ever want to be friends with.
Arman Tsarukyan, eu não acho ele bom do jeito que a galera fala. Eu acho que o Topuria ia fuder ele. Eu não tenho nada contra ele, mas eu também não gosto dele, entendeu? Eu não tenho nada contra ele. Não é um cara que eu seria amigo, entendeu? Não é um cara que eu seria amigo. Porque, eu não sei, eu acho ele arrogante, entendeu? Eu acho ele arrogante. Eu não gosto de pessoas que se acham melhores do que as outras, entendeu? Porque você pode ser melhor do que outra pessoa. Certamente.
Meanwhile, Arman Tsarukyan also revealed he wants to fight in October or November and has already spoken with Dana White about potential opponents. He said the UFC is looking for matchups in Abu Dhabi or Qatar with Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, and Paddy Pimblett on the table. Tsarukyan doesn't like Paddy but admitted for getting the title shot, his top choice is Paddy Pimblett.
Хочет вернуться в январе-феврале. А я уже давно не дрался, и я думаю, что мне нужно будет подраться в октябре-ноябре. И я разговаривал с боссами вчера. Они сказали, что, может быть, организуют бой с кем-нибудь.
В Абу-Даби.
В Абу-Даби, либо в Катаре.
Блин, это очень круто было бы.
Либо в Катаре.
В Катаре хотят?
Да, в Катаре турнир сказал. Может быть, Гейджи, может быть, Хукер, может быть, это Пэдди.
Слушай, а ты кого сам бы предпочел бы из этого списка?
Пэдди.
Пэдди? Но Пэдди нацелен на Илью тоже, как и ты.
Выход на Илью можно через этот бой. Да, аккуратно выйти топором на хутиру, идти дальше.
However, Paddy Pimblett took a sharp dig at Arman Tsarukyan and other lightweights, mocking Arman for offering money just to secure a fight and calling it desperate. He then turned his attention to Ilia Topuria, saying that regardless of the rankings, that was still the matchup he wanted most. Paddy also brushed off Dan Hooker, claiming his recent comments cost him respect and left him with no interest in facing him.
All I kept getting asked this weekend was, who are you fighting, when are you fighting Ilia, when are you fighting Ilia? I have no idea. Hopefully it is going to be me versus the Chirizo next, and I think that's what all the Americans want, because every American I bump into keeps saying, when are you going to smash that sausage's head in? I'm hoping that gets sorted, but I understand that I am like rank 9 or something, so other people probably are more deserving, but posh boy definitely isn't. Little rich boy Arman, showing how desperate he is, offering him £1 million to fight him. Spoiled rich baby, trying to pay the way out of things. That's why he quit when he was making weight in a bath like a little Arman's irrelevant, no one cares about him. As I always say, I've got nothing but respect for Justin, but I keep seeing in interviews him saying he doesn't want to fight me. I think the only fighter makes me and Ilia. Seen Dan Hooker talking shit today as well. I used to like Dan Hooker, now you can eat shit.
On the other hand, Khabib makes it clear that he doesn't see Ilia Topuria having any chance against Arman Tsarukyan. He explains that Arman has developed into a complete fighter, using range, distance control, and sharp kicks to neutralize strikers. With more experience and plenty of footage to study, Tsarukyan has become far more dangerous than he was a few years ago. Khabib believes Topuria's style wouldn't translate well against someone so well-rounded, and right now, he views Tsarukyan as the best lightweight in the division.
Давай предположим, что все случилось, Tsarukyan с Topuria дерутся. Ты кого видишь фаворитом в этом бою?
Я не вижу шансов у Topuria.
То есть ты считаешь, что Арман нападает, да?
Тоже не даю. Арман слишком дистанционно дерется. С ударниками держит дистанцию хорошо, ногами лучше работает. И сейчас уже Арман слишком хорошо. У него есть материал, который он может посмотреть и хорошо изучить. Если 3 боя назад, если он с ним дрался, может, он не так опасался. Но сейчас уже видно то, чего можно опасаться от Topuria. Я считаю, что в данный момент лучший боец в легком весе это Topuria.
Ты про Tsarukyan?
Да, я про Tsarukyan.
Khabib is confident that Arman Tsarukyan would be an 80-20 favorite over Ilia Topuria. He explains that Arman's edge comes from his complete MMA game, not just his wrestling. With takedowns, elbows, grappling, and submissions, Tsarukyan has multiple ways to control the fight. Khabib adds that Arman has become smarter with experience, studying opponents closely, and avoiding reckless exchanges. He also highlights Tsarukyan's size advantage, noting that his height, strength, and constant pressure would make him the bigger and more dominating fighter on fight night.
Выиграет он при этом за счет борьбы, правильно?
За счет ММА стиля.
Но,
это не вольная борьба.
Но будет проходить, да?
Арман может повалить, у него хорошие локти в партере. Очень хороший локти. Может бороться, разбаривать, спину забирать.
А вот в эту опасную дистанцию с Топурией просто не зайдет.
Не зайдет, слишком уже есть бои, он уже может посмотреть, изучить. Я, например, 80/20, я вижу победителем Армана. Я считаю, что его борьба, его прессинг, его говорить, это тоже надо учитывать. Он выше него почти на 10 сантиметров, если не ошибаюсь. И он больше него весом, и в день боя он будет больше него.
Meanwhile, UFC pros are excited to see Islam versus JDM at the moment and have shared their predictions for this fight. Craig Jones declared that Islam Makhachev's next test could be his toughest yet, highlighting Jack Della Maddalena's unpredictable style. He suggested the matchup might expose a new side of Islam as he moves into unfamiliar territory.
How do you think the fight against Islam goes?
I think it's a super difficult fight for Islam, this one. He's like, obviously he's faced Volk twice. We'll forget about the second one, but the first one, very competitive with the grappling. And now we're talking about he's facing a guy that's some of the best scrambling ability, I think, period, in all of MMA, and some of the most unorthodox grappling. And I think that's what Belal struggled with. Belal really just sticks to a blueprint. The blueprint obviously works very well, but in terms of creativity and what Belal does, I think it's pretty strict. Jack, as you saw in that fight, some of his off balances and grip breaks and some of the things he does, it's really hard to prepare for that.
Craig Jones hinted that Jack Della Maddalena could have a hidden weapon to catch Islam Makhachev off guard, and he suggested there might be an unexpected element in Jack's game that could completely shift the fight and even open the door for a major upset.
Islam, the size difference is going to be quite a lot bigger than people think. And we've seen how Volk did on the ground and how much Islam struggled with him in the grappling exchanges. And having seen Jack and Volks work together, seeing the skill sets, like, this is a perfect one. The UFC want guys that stand and bang. I'm trying to still help them out, even though potentially enemies.
Do you feel confident about this one?
Yeah, very, very confident for this one.
Robert Whittaker also spoke about this matchup and said Jack Della Maddalena's size and skill set could create problems for Islam Makhachev. He highlighted Jack's underrated grappling, stressing that he's much harder to control on the ground than people think. Whittaker also pointed to Jack's striking, especially his body shots and uppercuts, which could disrupt Islam's timing and make takedown attempts riskier. He believed those weapons might give Makhachev a challenge he hasn't often faced inside the octagon.
Why does he beat Islam, in your opinion?
I'm biased as heck.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see the fight playing out very much like it did with Volk, okay? But Jack's bigger. Jack's a little, he's a little bigger. He's got a different frame. He's a hard dude to try and hold down. And I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. He has good jiu-jitsu, which means it won't be free. The takedowns won't be free. Being on top of him won't be free. Not to mention, Jack has really good hands, and if he can keep it into that mid-range, into that distance that he likes, make it awkward. He's very good at not only punching straight lines, but punching up. So his hooks, his uppercuts, he mixes it really well. He works the body, which makes it harder to shoot on. You know, I think there's enough angles there to give Islam trouble.
Daniel Cormier also analyzed Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, noting Jack's early striking pressure could be dangerous if he avoids the cage. He explained that Islam's unorthodox style, build and trips, foot sweeps, and constant control makes him difficult to deal with. While Cormier didn't give a prediction, he stressed that Jack would be facing a very different kind of pressure.
JDM don't wrestle, but he was defending well, and he puts damage on you.
Off rip.
Starts putting damage on you, and he can box.
So how do you see that fight with him and Islam? Does he have the ability to beat a guy like Islam?
He'll get takedown attempts coming at him very early. This time. The last fight, he didn't have to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle. I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's going to feel, because it's not going to be double legs and single leg with Islam. It's going to be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things that he don't recognize as freely.
But you didn't answer the question.
The problem is, I can only give you that because I can't truly make a prediction. The job doesn't allow it.
Daniel Cormier argued that Islam Makhachev's performances are often misread, with fans paying more attention to opponents' moments than to Islam's control and striking. He said narratives tend to overshadow his dominance, but moving to welterweight excites him because it brings the kind of physical test lightweights never could.
Islam. He's a much better striker than people give him credit for. He won all the rounds against Dustin Poirier in a fight that was pretty much all striking. Everybody's like, wait, Dustin Poirier fought him so well. But he didn't. It was literally 5 rounds to 0 and he got submitted.
It's almost like Poirier got his licks, but he got dominated.
He got beat. Because Islam's been so good, people judge him differently. I think there are way more interesting fights for him at 170 because of the size difference than there is at 155. Because right now, when was the last time he had to finish someone? He finished Charles for the belt.
Volk.
He fought Volk. That was close. Didn't finish him. But the second time he finished Volk.
Second time, finished Moicano.
Finished Moicano. Finished Dustin Poirier. He beats them all because they're too small.
Moreover, Yoel Romero weighed in on the welterweight division, saying Jack Della Maddalena could be a serious threat to Islam Makhachev. He pointed out Maddalena's blend of cardio, striking, and underrated wrestling as key factors, while also highlighting his size and physicality. Romero believed those attributes made JDM capable of competing with anyone 170, even the champion, calling the match of a true 50-50 battle.
What about Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, who is a new champion in welterweight division?
It's hard because Maddalena have a very good cardio, very good puncher. Yeah. He's not bad wrestling too. It's not bad wrestling. It's a 50-50.
50-50, but Jack has not that high takedown defense. You know,
but punch it. He have a very hard punches.
And he will be more powerful than Islam, right? Or
that's it. Exactly.
Because of the weight difference, right?
Yes.
Or Islam is too big for...
No. That guy, Maddalena, is big for 170. He's big. He's big.
So this is all we have from today's video, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Share your thoughts and predictions about this fight in the comment section, and subscribe to our channel to get more updates about this highly anticipated encounter.